Greetings, GameCola faithful, and welcome back to more Let's Play Dragon Warrior. And I would like to point out that this merchant here who's walking up by me spawns in the lower left corner of the castle, and somehow, just as the game has been sitting running, waiting to prep, he is, by the power of sheer random number generation, walked all the way up here.
You know, didn't we stand behind this pillar for the purposes of nobody seeing our, great costume change and saving and quitting?
Yeah.
And this guy found us out. What do you have to say for yourself?
He says we are merchants.
Well, I can tell how you traveled much of this land. You're really good at moving around there.
He sure is. As always, I forgot. Oh, now she's down here talking with the guards. As always, I've completely forgotten what we did last episode, aside from do some grinding. But I have some ideas. We wanted to go to an area by Cantlin. Some kind of a maze of some kind that we're protected against now that we have Erdrick's armor.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing special to find in there that I'm aware of, but if we can survive a loop through that part of the map that we haven't been through, then we should be strong enough to survive delve into the Dragonlord's castle.
Okay, then let's head there. So that'd be going up and to the west, is that right?
Yes. We have items before we go. Do we have herbs?
That is a good question, which I will find an answer to shortly. Also, if we can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 experience, that would be fantastic. Okay, we've got 6 herbs, 5 magic keys. We are pretty well stocked up. I did have one other idea, which is a possible grinding location besides wandering around by the sort of southeast corner, which is, could we go to the bottom floor of Garen's tomb? Yes! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice.
Great.
Congrats. Wow, perfect.
Because the bottom floor of Garen's tomb, I think, had some pretty strong enemies, but not as strong. I think it had some Wraith Knights, which were one of the more difficult enemies, but it also had some unique enemies that I don't believe we've seen anywhere else in the overworld. So that could be an alternative location to do some grinding.
Counter proposal, yes, that's fine. And let's not do grinding before we need to go grinding. Let's keep on going as you're going. The other thing is, I think we can survive another trip around Metal Slime territory.
I agree.
Because honestly, my checklist here would be do the loop around Cantlin and survive, and defeat a Metal Slime. If we can do both of those, then I feel like we are properly equipped. Yeah. But we can also just duck into the castle and see how we fare, because there may still be things of import to find in the castle that could facilitate any grinding or exploring that we do.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I forgot to cast Repel, and I guess technically I'm passing up on Piddly experience, which I guess you could say maybe that's worth it.
Why
because these guys are really, really dodgy, and they're a pain to fight.
Okay.
They're not worth fighting.
We did just get a new armor, which does increase your defense by a little bit, and it does heal your HP after every single step, reducing the amount of mana you're going to need. The MIPS.
This guy's following me, I tell you.
Yeah. Go down. If we're going for Metal Slime,
I just noticed this up here. I don't think I've been up here.
This is the loop.
That's true.
Oh, this is the loop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So while we're here, why don't we just go into the loop? And there are some Metal Slimes as part of this, actually. Like right around here, there should potentially be Metal Slimes. So if we fight every enemy that we come across here and successfully complete this loop back to the bridge without dying, then I feel like we're in good shape to attack the castle.
All right. Okay, only 2 hits. The main problem with them is how much they dodge. Because they are...
Have fun storming that castle.
Yep. Have fun storming the castle. Oh, Starwyvern.
And the armor that we have also reduces damage from fire breath.
Yes, which will be handy. I was thinking that they did magic, which I don't think they actually do.
Oh yeah, that's the Magi Wyvern.
Yeah.
Maga Wyvern? Maggie Drakey? Magic Drakey.
The Drakey.
I always pronounce it like magic, so...
Yeah.
Magi Wyvern.
Magi Wyvern.
Regional accent.
Depending on, yeah. one of my favorite
yeah, we don't-
running jokes.
And we
come
don't
out
need to
of
heal more
Game
than
Over.
that, I don't think, because the next few steps will continue to gain.
Oh, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah,
I
that's
didn't think
true.
about that.
Yeah,
oh,
well,
but I'm glad I
if
did
we could
now.
take
'cause
one
we're
step.
one step. Womp womp.
Yeah, that only did
uh,
14, so that's even better than a regular attack.
Oof. I was gonna say that we're outpacing it on damage, and then it started hitting us.
Yeah.
We always outpace if we get the first hit in.
That's true. Oh, talk to the mountains. Yo-lay-hee-hoo.
Talk to the mountains, because the forest ain't listening.
Nope. And the stairs aren't either.
Sadly.
Well,
Man.
we got 2 hit points back.
Yep. And he got the advantage, so we lost. We're at a disadvantage now.
And at this point, gold is irrelevant. So if we die, don't reset. Just
Yeah.
take the hit and keep going.
Ow.
Whoa,
Excellent
whoa.
move.
Hey.
That guy
What?
took a lot more hits to deal with for some reason.
So about surviving a whole loop around
Yeah.
Cantland. How much do we need to level?
We don't have heal more yet. And that is really the critical.
What?
481. So
Okay.
we're not too far away, but that's assuming that the next level is heal more. So we might be, another couple thousand. All right, I'm gonna stop spell.
I feel like it has to be. Or no, we just got. Wait, what did we just get? Didn't we just get a spell?
We got
Repel
repel.
was the last one.
Okay.
So now we can do some mountain climbing, right? And rappel down.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we just finished doing. We're now in the desert. This is a totally new
Yeah,
area.
Like this. Like, this is, I think it's intended as an area where you're going to get lost in on the way to Cantland, just exploring the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I do think it acts as sort of a good test of how prepared are we for more dungeon delving.
Yeah.
It's also just
Because at least here, we can see where the path is. It's brightly lit.
yes, it is. Follow the beige sand road.
In a way, it reminds me of The Legend of Zelda 2.
Yeah, I
Like,
can see that.
I feel like this is kind of a layout of large portions of that game.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, nice.
That's more like it.
87 damage.
You want to go see what's up at that little area up there?
Sure.
I don't know that we can survive a loop with a detour.
That's
We've
true.
seen what's up there already.
Yeah, there's nothing and unlikely, and this game doesn't really have, hidden chests off tucked away in
Yeah.
corners. So, which would
We'll
be
get
a
that
very
on the
good
next
reason to check a place like that out, honestly.
Yeah.
That's something
Man.
I kind of wish this game had.
Did either of you play Ogre Battle?
I am loosely familiar with it,
I
but no, I have
don't
not played
at
it.
all.
Oh, okay. So it's a
Oh,
beautiful
I have it on the
game.
Virtual Console, though. It was one of the last ones I picked up before it shut down for the Wii U, I think?
Hmm. No,
Or the Wii?
I remember playing it at my cousin's house, and it was one of those
hey.
that oh yeah, classic. That I could never actually find, but I was always intrigued by it as a kid. It stuck out to me because it was a very beautiful game. But the interesting thing about it is it's kind of like a tactics game in that you're moving characters around on a map, and then other characters come to fight you and stuff, and you're trying to liberate cities and all this, but you can also just wander around the map, and if you walk over certain areas you'll find hidden treasure, which is really cool. Except that now that I'm playing it, trying to play it last year or whatever, it's oh man,
Ah, that feels nice.
Oh, this
Walking
is
over this and not hurting.
This is where we
Yeah.
found the token as well.
Yep.
All right.
that would have been nice if we had this
Yeah. All right, well, that's the loop done, just barely. We only...
Well, not quite. We have to actually complete the loop.
Okay. Well,
And
this
get to Cantlin?
this wyvern may have something to say about that.
What? Oh, come on.
Now,
Does that.
I don't know if it's going to work on this one. I doubt it, actually. But we did talk previously about using the sleep spell a little more often to try and save us more magic on healing.
Yeah. What? Come on.
All right, forget you.
Maybe we should use, what? Oh, come on now. Man, what a jerk.
Yeah, these are the worst enemies in the
There you
game,
go, there.
honestly. Screw you.
There you go. I do feel like very shortly we're going to be able to take them. I feel like at the next level we'll be able to take them.
Airwolf, their wolf.
Mm-hmm. Earwolf.
Oof.
Oh, but yeah, the whole thing about ogre battle where it takes forever for you to walk around, and that even with like an emulator speed up button, it's like, man, this is not worth doing just to get a thunder sword or whatever, right? Like,
So
as
there's
much as this-
let's actually go back to Cantlin and recover our health
oh, that's a
okay.
good idea.
and
Yeah.
and Mips. Then we can resume the loop because we're almost done with it. But it'd be nice to draw this out a little more as we're getting decent experience.
Yeah,
Do I-
and
do
I'm
you wanna
just
just
gonna
sleep 'em and
refuse
try-
to fight these
Yeah.
guys because they're just.
Yeah, I support that.
How much do we need until we level? Because, like, do you think we can survive one battle like this Queen Dragon?
We can if we do
Yeah.
that. Oh,
Yikes.
fantastic.
Okay. Come on, come on, come on.
Let's check.
No.
I think we need 13,000 total experience to the next level.
Woo! Nicely done.
All right.
Well, it's
so,
stuck up on herbs as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of like moving left, they move left, you move right, they move right.
And it becomes a dance.
Yep.
No, after you. No, no, please, after you. So I guess, Nathaniel, are there any games that you have from like the Nintendo or the Super Nintendo era that like have stuck with you in your mind, even though they're not really like commonly talked about now?
Sure. I can. Here's what I'll do. Let me pull up my backloggery
I
real
was-
quick.
As soon as you said, "Here's what I'll do," I knew what you were going to do.
Of course I did. All right. So we have.
Hey, look, I did a loop around
Gold
Cantlin.
NES.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're so good at that. Oh, do we want to stop spell him? And then
He does
can't
not
use heal more?
do spell. Well, I guess I could stop spell. That would prevent the heal more.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm
That's a
thinking. I
good
feel like
point.
it's worth the 2 hit points, right?
Yeah.
Or the 2 MP, the MIPS.
Mip points.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what I'll do. I'll zip through. I'll throw out a handful of names of games or series, and if there's anything you're interested in talking about, let me know.
Oh.
And if not, then we don't have to talk about it. So, Adventures of Lolo, 1, 2, and 3.
Ah.
And the whole Eggerland series, actually.
Yeah, I've tried. I think you saw me a little while ago playing one of those.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not very good at those games. That's like
Yeah.
puzzles are.
I replayed
Gyromite.
I haven't done that one.
That's a good one. I think a lot of people haven't played that because of the it's the one that requires Rob, right?
It does not require. It works with Rob, but you can
Right.
perfectly do it fine with the second controller on your own.
Okay.
Has that?
Because all you do with Rob, as I understand it, I've never actually used one, is you just hand Rob your second controller.
Yeah, well, because he picks up and moves the little gyros onto a pad that presses on
Oh, is that what it does?
the buttons on your controller. That's what he does. So like there's also just a huge, like, I think part of the intended challenge of the game is that, like, you have to sit and wait for this, like, 20-second period after signaling this thing for Rob to actually move, pick up the thing, and actually, you know, achieve the direction. So, like, by using just a second controller, it's not exactly the same experience. Hey, level up.
Yeah. Hey.
Courage and wit have served me well.
Okay, let's see. What do we got?
Ooh, that's a good defense boost.
That's nothing. Nah. Compared to
by
last
6.
level where it was like...
Whoa!
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
That's a
Holy
big deal.
cow!
But no spell.
23 MIPS?
That's okay.
ridiculous.
We need to free up space to be able to use the spell, you see.
Yeah.
'Cause that's like 5 3/4 of a heal.
Now I
right?
need to see... Yep, another 3,000.
Okay.
That's interesting. The levels are now taking a constant amount of experience instead of
Interesting.
like increasing with each one, because the previous level also took 3,000 experience.
Yeah.
Well, unless it was slightly more than 3,000 and we just gained an awkward amount of XP from the last monster.
No.
I'm pretty
'cause
it was
exact. 1,000 2 levels ago, and then we just passed 3,000. So
Yeah. So I'm pretty darn sure that we needed 10k to get to level 14. Or sorry, 10k to get to level 15. 1,300 or 13,000 to get to 16, and now we have exactly all, because offset.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think I don't know, but it's interesting. And it was funny. I was listening to, I can't remember the podcast number. Oh, I'm asleep. But I was listening to, on my drive, one of the many drives I make is listening to GameCola podcast episodes, and we were talking about RPG leveling systems and that kind of thing, and it occurred to me the sort of semi unusual design decision, because a lot of RPGs, each consecutive level takes more experience to reach. But then it brought to mind thoughts about, like, the Paper Mario games, where you have every level is a consistent amount of experience, and then they scale how much experience you get based on the difficulty of the enemies.
Yeah.
Which,
Where are we going, by the way?
I mean, I guess in the end,
Yeah, I was going to ask.
achieves the same thing. But, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, where are we going?
What? Yeah.
Oh, I'm just kind of wandering around this area because I'm checking out with the extra. Well, I don't have the extra magic because I leveled up just after sleeping at the inn.
So if you want, we can hang out around here-ish, because this is also Metal Slime territory. But now that we have successfully completed a Cantlin loop, we can wander around. But yeah, I think if we go, the definite square where I know they are is that bottom left area along the coast.
Yeah.
And I know there are some up here catty-corner to it, but I don't know exactly where the boundaries are, and we could kind of figure it out based on the monsters that we fight here. But I figure go with, a more known quantity.
Yeah, and I would definitely like to defeat a metal slime. At least once in this playthrough. I feel like that should be
It's
sort
kind
of
of a
a
rite
side
of passage.
Exactly. That being said, I did recently look at, like, I watched a little bit, the early part of a Dragon Warrior speed run. And it's fascinating because they route basically all of their first several combat encounters are just RNG manipulation to get metal slimes, and then RNG manipulation to get excellent moves against those metal slimes. And the first one gives you 5 levels. It takes you from level 1 to level 6, or level 5 or 6. And it's but that being said, I think they actually don't give as much experience as I would have expected.
Oh, hey, here we go. Come on.
Oh.
Oh, it cast
What?
hurt.
What? No, ouch! That's rude. What? What?
Wow, all right, miss.
The attack failed, and there was no loss of hit points.
I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably haven't. I just forgot, but Wow, he's sticking around for a long time.
Don't say anything.
It's like what?
Oh.
Oh, come on.
If I hadn't been missing so much, I would have.
Well, it's not even that you were missing. You just don't do enough damage to hurt him.
That's a good point. I think that might have been what it was, because it's just like the attack was ineffective because his defense is so high. Because we don't really have an agility like a dodge rate. It's just, I think that maybe that's what happens if your attack, if the damage is just reduced to 0 by the defense.
That's so weird.
Pow.
But yes, to finish up the thought about more obscure games, there's plenty I can talk about. But, you know, if I look at the Super Nintendo library, I'm very much a normie when it comes to Super Nintendo games. Like, I have all of the greatest hits. Like, my entire library of SNES games is all of the ones that people are like, this is the best one for the system. So not every single, and I don't have all of the, you know, best of the best, but, like, if you look every single title on there, just pick a random one, and it's going to be, like, top 20 Super Nintendo games.
Yeah. No, I guess that's the funny thing is that, like, for me, the one game that I feel like, you know, people talk about that I also talk about is, like, Final Fantasy VI, right?
Yep.
And, like, even then, it's been wildly overshadowed by Final Fantasy VII. That, like, for Super Nintendo games, it is considered a very good game.
Oh,
but that in Final Fantasies, it is, like... Most people, I guess, who are like my age, started getting into RPGs in middle school, and such. Final Fantasy VII was their first RPG, and so was a wild, you know, amazing thing for them. Meanwhile, for me, I was playing, you know, I was playing Dragon Warrior, and then I was playing Final Fantasy II and Final Fantasy III, and so on. So, like, I was like, yeah, it's another RPG. Yeah, games can have stories. This is not a surprising thing.
Yeah. Now, I played Final Fantasy VII, I believe it was 13 years after it was released. So I had more than enough time to have some major plot points, like everything anyone knows about Final Fantasy VII spoiled for me, and had enough to play so many other RPGs to compare against. And it's still very close frontrunner for my favorite Final Fantasy game.
Really?
The original remains favorite. Some of that's nostalgia, but some of that is, and I think we've discussed a bit of this already, but some of this is other characteristics of the game. 7, based on the one time I played it, would probably be my second favorite, or maybe my third favorite. I would need to replay 2-4 again, because that's the other one that I really, really like. But I feel like that game, the gameplay holds up. The aesthetics are still of its time. I'm not wild about that era of 3D graphics, but it holds up okay. And the plot is interesting. The characters are interesting. I enjoy the variety of character combinations that you have. Some of the fights are creative. You know, there's just a lot of very good stuff, and it's very story heavy, but it doesn't get bogged down in cutscenes, and it doesn't get bogged down in fluff the way a lot of other story heavy RPGs or a lot of other like 40, 50, 60, 70 hour RPGs do. Like, it is, from what I remember, for the most part, it is like pure content. And whatever fluff is available is just enough to give you a breather from everything before you jump back into the heavy stuff.
I'm waiting for it to say the metal slime attack before you're ready, and then it runs.
Yeah, it's done that. You know, the funny thing that I found out recently is that in Japan... in Japan, Final Fantasy VII was outsold by a significant margin by Dragon Quest VII.
Yeah.
And I found that very interesting, that Final Fantasy VII was a hit in Japan, but nowhere close to the sort of legendary status that we elevate it to compared to other RPGs on the system here in the West.
But talk to any Western gamer and ask them which they like better in general, Final Fantasy or Dragon Warrior, Dragon
absolutely.
Quest. And I would wager that by far the answer would be Final Fantasy over here.
Yeah.
Without question.
And it's not that people don't like Dragon Quest, but the popularity really held on because, I mean, also looking at it, okay, so Jetty, you have people playing first RPGs of your age around when they were in middle school, let's say. So that's prime Final Fantasy time in the States. Because Dragon Warrior, you had 1, 2, 3, 4 on the NES, and then I don't know that we actually got any of the Super Famicom games until the PlayStation era when they were remade, by which point there were so many other RPGs to play that Dragon Quest was just kind of another one of the bunch.
Yeah, absolutely. And also that Dragon Warrior 4, didn't it come out in like 1994 in the States or something?
I want to say it was one of the latest ones in the system, yeah.
Yeah, so like the concept of like most Westerners actually playing it, I remember playing it in 1995 because we had just moved to Florida. And so like I have these memories of like finding that it came out, and like I thought that it had come out like a long time ago and that I just missed it all this time or whatever. And then these days I come to find out and like, oh no, it had been released like 3 months before. But yeah, like that's one that's always stuck with me as like,
damn it,
one of my. Oh yeah.
Oh, it was one hit away. I
now
think.
We're not safe for work podcast. Hide the children.
Yeah, go to John on any podcast.
Or Anna sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like Anna tries to hold herself back.
Yeah.
John, I don't think tries.
John doesn't care.
No offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not like, I still don't think we're gonna have to mark it up on the ad suitability checklist. I think it's still just marked as no ad suitability issues, which is nice.
Because I think it's something where it's like, oh, if it's a lot of swearing in the first like couple of minutes or something weird.
It used to be like the first like couple of minutes, but then they changed it to the first 30 seconds. They reduced it according to their like actual guidelines.
So I wonder if it's because of that, if you hover over when you're like on the front page and it starts to play a little.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But
come on, I gotta be close to being able to freaking defeat one of these things. They're just
so the
too
year's
rare.
1995. Thou art in Florida.
Yes.
Yes, and I was playing. It's weird because I feel like there was like a rapid whole bunch of RPGs that came out like shortly after Florida. Like I say shortly, but it's like a period of a few years. So like I play Dragon Warrior.
There it is again. I'm sorry. My headcanon here is that it's the same metal slime, and it's like I know you're after me.
Yeah. So yeah, Dragon Warrior 4. Then I played Earthbound, right? Like immediately, like the next year. Then I played Final Fantasy VII and Breath of Fire 3, right? And like that's an interesting comparison because Breath of Fire 3.
Yes.
Yes!
Oh, you got it? Whoa! By 53? Whoa!
115
nice.
experience.
Yeah, I mean,
Superb.
it's really only like 4 times more than
it's
still
far too rare and difficult to defeat to justify the amount of experience. Like, at least in Dragon Quest VIII, for example, like there's definitely a little bit of like stat inflation in that game, but like I'm pretty sure metal slimes give you something like 1,300 experience, which in the areas you get to them in is almost always a guaranteed level up, and they are just as difficult to defeat here as they are in that game.
But here's the trade-off. They are not doing the damage that all the other enemies around here are doing.
Right.
But
which is true.
I guess in terms of... Sorry, yeah?
I was going to say, which is true, but they're also rarely encountered in the first place. So
I guess the thing is that, you know, if we have to fight, like, 5 of them to get one that we kill, then it's kind of not worth the time,
Yeah, I
right?
think-
That like if we could alternatively fight 5 regular monsters and get the same EXP.
I'm gonna return,
But
I think.
with the risk of death and using up your items and your magic.
You think we should already?
Yeah, I think.
So we have achieved the 2 tasks that we came out
Yeah,
here. We
that's
did the
true,
Cantlin
yes.
loop and we slew a metal slime. We slew a slime.
Let's see how.
So yeah,
well
I think we
do at
return to the castle, top off on whatever we need to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe go buy one of those crazy expensive magic keys from the dealer in the back of the castle, just so we are fully topped off on those.
Yeah.
Save with the king, and then head over to the castle.
See, visit,
Yeah.
knock on the Dragonlord's door.
But so story.
And we are
It's
stocked on
just
herbs,
like-
right? Did you check?
Oh, I guess we're going to go.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good.
Man, like, I think Breath of Fire. Sorry, Breath of Fire 3 is considered like one of the good ones. Right?
Dragon Breath 3.
Yeah.
Dragon
Breath of
yeah,
Dragon.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Ryu is like a dragon guy or whatever.
Breath.
Oh, that's right. We need to use a key to buy a key.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
I'm
so it
just
costs you
thinking
2
now.
keys.
Breath of Dragon 2. Gingivitis attacks.
Man, I remember I had rented Breath of Fire 2, and I asked my uncle, had he ever played it? He was like, "Oh yeah, I've played Breath of Fire 2 before." I was
Wait,
like, "Oh,
we
what
need
did
to
you
save.
think?"
Go
Oh,
back.
we didn't
We need
save.
to save.
Ah,
And then we should repel before we start marching anywhere.
that's true.
He had not actually played Breath of Fire 2. He was making a joke.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah.
I think
Um,
that's just called lying.
I mean, it was for fun though. He was making a joke, but the thing is that, I would say, so Final Fantasy VII, by contemporary standards, has terrible graphics, right?
Yeah.
It's
It looks better
questionable.
on the actual PlayStation 1 as opposed to like I think some of these HD ports of the game actually
Repel?
make it look worse because now the 3D parts of the graphics are a different resolution than the backgrounds,
oh yeah.
and as a result, like the
Do we want to repel?
Repel.
oh yes, and so the difference between them is more obvious, and then
mean,
of course
but
you
I-
know.
Now we can go the lower route through the swamp and not get hurt.
Yeah.
True.
That's true. I guess my point though is, what was it? Final Fantasy 3, right? Final Fantasy 6 is like objectively a beautiful game for the Super Nintendo. That like, it has some really beautiful graphics. Like they had mastered the art of like 2D pixel
Oh,
drawing.
time out.
And, like,
Do we need to talk to the guy again who was asking about our Erdrick's equipment?
Oh yeah, and Cole. That's
Did
right.
we ever do that after getting the armor?
We did not.
Not yet. Yeah, let's go talk to them. Oh no. I think it's fine. I think.
Yeah, it's
or, I guess
It's
we
no
could just
longer
stay at the inn,
repulsive.
Yeah.
right? We can stay at the inn in Cole. Oh no. And so you go from having like beautiful top of the line graphics to having the most basic we've never done 3D before. I guess everyone's made out of cubes.
Yeah.
Right? Like graphics on the PlayStation. So it's a little jarring. Let's see, what does he say?
Wow.
Well, such weapons, right?
Yeah. So I
explicitly
guess I
says
must
weapons.
need. Now this
What about the
person
other guy
here?
who says, yeah. Yes, I do. Look at my armor.
I
Look
do.
at my token.
Jeez. You just can't please anybody these days.
Excuse me.
They're not scripted to be pleased.
Hmm.
But the thing is that Breath of Fire 2, the graphics were all right, but Breath of Fire 3 continues with 2D sprites and has 3D backgrounds. And does the repel wear off when you go inside of the dungeon? Right?
I believe it does, yeah.
Yeah,
Darn.
oh well, that's fine. So like, the graphics were really good looking for Breath of Fire 3. And the other thing is, I would say that the music still sounds like it's on the Super Nintendo for Final Fantasy VII. That like the instrumentation thereof is like,
don't bother.
Yeah, you're going into higher level stuff anyway. But
now, something to consider is we are going inside a castle, so ideally we should save enough MIPS for the outside spell and then enough MIPS for the return spell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we can still technically use our emergency wing if it's truly an emergency, but it is a pain to go somewhere to buy it back.
That's true.
Yeah.
Although if we do use the wing, it's not too much of a... it's not too far out of the way to go up to Cole before we come on the return pass to go through the tunnel by the Dragon's Lair.
Although, I guess if at this point we don't care about money and there's no setback other than losing half your gold, we could also just wander around the dungeon till we keel over and don't even bother with self-preservation.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely... I mean,
way.
really, the self-preservation is just a function of how much experience do we want to gain before we keel over.
Yeah.
I think it's just, it's good RPG practice ingrained in me, and again, not liking to lose in games like these.
Yeah, and I don't either. It feels kind of weird to me to be like, yeah, it's fine, we don't care if we die. It's like, well, I mean, I do. It's just not motivated, you know, that motivation is just not reinforced by the gameplay. All right.
Deep breath, here we go.
Oh man, it's a good thing we have this arm. Otherwise, yeah, yeah, look at that. All right.
But because I don't know if you guys have played. I don't remember if I asked and what your answers were. Breath of Fire 3, right? Is that it
Not
has...
yet. I've played 1 and 2.
Yeah, it has like actual.
Okay.
Now, we
whoa.
wanted to stop spell this dude.
Yeah. That's that guy that we died at.
Yeah, many times.
Man, and he's only... Oh, okay, yeah, never mind. Okay. We're fine. I think... Yeah, I would... Okay, yeah, there we go. That's what saved us last time.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, you're starting to get into you're just a normal enemy territory, but whew,
yeah,
okay.
I think in the next level we're gonna be ready for this.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say that the music is actual like orchestrated music. It's oh, a wizard. Haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that. What do you think of that, wizard?
He says,
Yeah.
"I bop you on the head with my staff."
Well, but yeah, like it has actual orchestrated music. Like it's actual like I mean, I don't know that it's like actually recorded music, but it's more of a mod than a MIDI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds a lot better. Like the music actually sounds nice. So like good art and good music. Granted, you know, isn't everything in an RPG, but
great.
Never mind. I mean, hey, we just stepped foot in here. We're also... Oh, no.
Do we want to sleep it?
Yeah, possibly.
I feel like these ones we kill pretty quickly.
Takes me maybe
and, like,
3
they don't
rounds.
kill themselves or anything. See, yeah, we're fine.
But every one of these hits is 1 use of heal.
That's true.
That's true. That's true.
You know, these enemies are giving a decent amount of experience, you know, 40-something experience. So to get 3, well, I guess it's 3,000, not 300, but we're already almost halfway there.
Right.
The other thing is that we have the Erdrick's armor is also healing us, which is helping.
Yeah.
All right, sleep.
Nice.
I like the thought that it's still flying while sleeping.
Mm-hmm. in some of
shark.
the
Although it would be really funny if the sprite just went plunk and fell on the ground.
yeah, that would be very funny. I think in some of the Dragon Quest games, when you put enemies to sleep, they actually, if they're flying, they actually continue animating. Their just rate of wing flaps slows down. So its eyes are closed, and it's flapping its wings more slowly. That might have been a mistake. Okay.
You're fine. It's fine. He's gonna try to sleep you. Yeah. It's fine. There we go. Yeah, now beat him up. Nice.
Whew. Okay.
So you're out of herbs now.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like we can keep going, though. I feel
We
like...
can keep going. I'm just
Yeah.
observing.
Yeah.
We are herbless.
Yeah.
And mayhap we may wish to try and run from the Axe Knights at this point. We have no herbs.
Yeah, those are the rough ones.
We are herbless. It just made me. It brought me back to a Bowser's Inside Story line of dialogue. Fawful is lacking in beef. Fawful is beefless. Because Bowser asks him, "What's your beef with me? Beef? Fawful is lacking in beef. I am beefless."
Sleep.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's fine. We can just keep going at this point.
Put them to sleep.
Okay. But yeah, I guess it's interesting to see. I mean, like, obviously, well, people prefer good games.
How ironic of you of all people to say that.
Yeah. Well, no, I guess that's what I'm
You said we were
saying.
going to keep exploring, didn't we?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna explore
Well, yeah, we
the
have
other
to go
side.
around.
I like there's.
Oh, I thought you were going to go down the middle here. Okay.
Well, is
Oh.
there? I mean,
Well,
I guess
we're
I can
already
go
over
down the
there.
middle. There just didn't appear to be anything there.
I thought there was. Maybe I'm not paying enough attention.
Hmm.
I mean,
I-
there's that thing that looks kind of like the King's Throne, right?
Yeah,
Either
but
that, or there's a bunch of item shops all next
Yeah.
to each other. Somebody stacked the school desks.
yeah. All right. Well, we can check this out.
Imagine trying to do this without Erdrick's armor, right?
Yeah. Feel the wind
Oh.
blowing from behind the throne.
Okay.
It's a wizard. He's
Because
using a wind
It's
spell.
a wizard blowing on you, trying to cast a wind spell, and it's not working very well.
Yep. Well, because
He's just
there are no
waving
wind
his wand
spells in
around.
this game. Oh, the spell did
You
not
don't know
work.
that.
What the?
You
what a horrible
don't know
time.
what the nature of hurt and hurt more is.
He casts wind more.
Wind more.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of games for me, right? I talk constantly about Seventh Saga, right? The Seventh Saga.
I've never
Um,
heard of this game.
I'm not super familiar. I've heard you mention it. I think at
Yeah.
least once during this. Let me search here. The secret
Oh,
passage.
capitalized.
Hey.
I don't know that we want to go here. I would save this, perhaps.
Yeah, why don't we stairs back up and check out the other branch? But
All
at
right.
least we
It
have
seems like,
discovered a discovery.
Mm-hmm.
but
I do love that though. That's a delightful secret.
That's very nice. I like that a lot.
Because it's conspicuous. It's like nobody would just wander over here for no reason. There has to be something.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you've done just enough poking around in the game to know that, well, maybe I can use the search function.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
But yeah, I was talking previously about Wanderers from Ease, right? Like, it is not a good game. And yet, like, concepts from it have stuck with me. Or Arcana, right? Like, that to me has kind of a same feeling as this game in terms of, like, grinding and incremental progression and, like, It's got a really super generic fantasy story. There's a few little clever items or points in the gameplay about like how you use your card friends and like the spells that they get, and like trying to balance using their skills while like shuffling them in and out as they like, you don't want them to die, so you can shift to the next one, and then they'll heal as you walk around, right? And then you can switch back and that kind of stuff.
Oh, you know what? I no longer have enough for both outside and return.
Well,
you just die.
Well, you don't have enough for outside and return anyhow right now, so you might as well sleep it.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, for some reason, like, Arcana sticks with me. Yeah, the Seventh Saga, like, that is a wild game in terms of, like, graphically and story-wise. It's a terrible game, but I wish it was good, right?
Great.
And like all three of these, or like ActRaiser. I feel like ActRaiser has a bit of a cult following.
From what I understand,
it seems pretty cool. I've seen some people play it.
Yeah, like conceptually, right? It's a really neat idea, like to combine, like I've been playing Cult of the Lamb. I'm like, oh, this is just ActRaiser but good. Like I never thought about it in that way. That like ActRaiser isn't really a roguelike because it has set stages that you go through. But there's that thing of like, oh, you sort of level up by increasing the town management sim part of the game. And then you use those stats to help you go through the dungeons.
All right, I am
so what do we
out
figure? We gotta keep going,
of
I guess,
all
just until
resources.
we die. It's fine.
Oh, bam!
Nice. They heard you.
Oh!
Yeah.
So let's be very efficient in our movements to eke out as much exploration as we can.
Oh, I got a second.
Oh,
wow.
sadness.
All right, this is probably going to be it for me. Can't.
Yeah.
Interesting. The screen didn't flash red, and I think that's actually because the background doesn't have any non-black tiles on it, which I think it flashes everything that isn't an outline.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, because you were killed by a werewolf, now you're a lycanthrope.
Well, but I can still beat the Dragonlord, right? Like this.
I think they'll allow it.
Yeah. I'm not disqualified, right? Okay, well, you know what? We made decent headway there
Herbs,
on
keys, herbs, keys,
right?
herbs.
Yeah.
Did we need keys? Oh yeah, we did need keys.
Yeah.
We already used 2, so it makes sense to stock back up.
Don't know why I'm going there. No herbs in the inn.
Are you indeed healed back to full?
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah. What I want to know is, who was strong enough to sneak into the dungeon, or agile enough, and drag your corpse out of there back to the king? Like, I want that person on my team.
It was the king.
Moving one square at a time.
Yep. Do we this might be a good stopping point for this episode, I think. Definitely want to save since I've made experience.
Well, get the
progress.
keys first, and we need to save one key to get keys here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because now that gold isn't a concern, we can waste as much gold as we want to get the keys.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I would laugh so hard if it's like, magic keys, they will unlock any door, and you come to the first one and it's like, the key doesn't fit.
It's the wrong magic key, sorry.
Yep.
This door just uses a normal key?
There's a gag I did in Make a Good Mega Man Level 3 where there's a key you can purchase from the shop. And when you go to use it, I think the dev team made it situational, or maybe I made it situational. Like, if you do it at a certain point in the game, it's like, you know, you try and open the door, but the key doesn't work! You spent all of that! Have you been ripped off? Oh no, wait a second, you had it backward. You turn it around, the key opens the door.
You need to use the broken key, the bad key machine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will go find ourselves a bad key machine in the next episode. No, we won't.
We're just going to continue doing what we've been doing this whole time, is dying and occasionally beating up a monster.
Yep, indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yeah. See ya.